Recently, I watched two horror media pieces and I sort of realized that horror genre is not always about some evil, sinister spirit trying to avenge you, but the horror genre can be so political and it can be such a great genre for talking about issues like mental health, anxiety, depression, suicide, etc. It took me back to my German expressionism classes last year where we talked about this film movement that emerged in Germany post World War One, where the filmmakers used warped sets, very exaggerated architecture, very disoriented perspectives, very contrast shadows to talk about the fractured, the declining economy. Films like Nosferatu and The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari were not just about monsters or suspense, but they were heavily shaped by the social and political realities of Germany. Now, keeping in mind all of that, my first very heavily recommended fiction piece would be Khauf, which is an Amazon original piece created by Smita Singh, which basically uses the horror genre to talk about the lived realities of women in the society and how the society has made the space so uncomfortable, so unsafe for us. And the series basically revolved around these three women who refused to step outside of the hostel after the death of their best friend. This new woman enters the hostel and she is to take that same room as the best friend, the room which has been vacant since her death, and they try to bully this woman to get out of the room. Now, the series then sort of reveals what happened, why are these women scared, why are these women not stepping out, all the while begging you to question what exactly the real horror is. If you're a horror fan and if you love watching layered pieces, I would heavily recommend this to you. Great direction, great horror elements, and of course, the social commentary that there is. It's commendable, it's brilliant. My next recommendation is The Woman in the Yard. This is a silent psychological horror film, so do not expect a lot of horror elements, but the way it sort of talks about the external state and the internal state of the woman who just lost her husband and she's living with her two kids, who is going through depression, who is going through suicidal thoughts, and the ending of the film sort of leaves you hanging as to what really happened. Sort of becomes this emotional landscape that the mother is trying to navigate. So in that sense, the film was actually a very refreshing new perspective for me, and these were my two recommendations. Please let me know if you have any similar recommendations as well, where the horror genre becomes a sort of good commentary, be it political, be it social, be it cultural.